Okay, there's right now they're going on down in Antarctica. Well, they're on in South America. Most of the crew is the final experiment where they're going to Antarctica to Union Glacier and see if they can see the 24-hour sun this year. There could be a chance of clouds, but that's probably the only thing that would prevent them from seeing the sun for 24 hours. But there's been a lot of reaction from the flat earthers. So I decided this evening to start going through some of the reactions of the flat earthers and see what's going on. First, I started with starting with Level Earth Observer. He's a crane operator from England and doesn't think the Earth moves, or we don't really know what he thinks the shape of the Earth is because he won't say. All he says he's a demonstrable realist, and everything else is a pantomime. So we're going to listen to some of his claims. I may say a few words, but that's basically what's going to go on for the next little bit. Okay, hope you enjoy some of this. Well, you probably won't enjoy it, but let's listen to him go on.
Seagull wisdom and a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Is there a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Well, I want to share an observation with you. As most of you should be aware, I'm a tower crane operator. I work in the construction industry. And because of my job, I spend my days in an elevated position high above the cities of the UK, with a great view of the sky, the rooftops, and the skyline of, like I say, whatever city it may be I'm working in at the time. I love this job. But something I've observed recently I find quite interesting that might tie into the 24-hour Antarctica sun in December. And it kind of relates to these guys, seagulls. Because of my job, I see these guys all the time, on rooftops, all over the cities of the UK. And the job I'm on at the moment, I've been here for 11 months. And all that time, the gulls have been on the rooftops around my job, all around the area for as far as I can see. Hundreds and hundreds of them. But recently, they've all disappeared. I say all, bar a handful. Literally hundreds upon hundreds of seagulls have disappeared. And here's the thing, they don't migrate from the UK. The black-headed gulls do, but your normal herring gull, which you see in all UK cities, when it starts to get colder, they come inland to the cities from the coast, where they've got rich pickings. But of course I work in the cities anyway. But all the gulls in the area of the city that I'm currently working, like I said, with the exception of a handful, have totally disappeared. We're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seagulls. So where have they gone? Are we going to have a very, very cold winter? And is that what I'm seeing, telltale signs, as a result of the gulls' behaviour? Is that the reason that all these guys are going to Antarctica in December to do this observation? Could we be seeing something that doesn't happen on a regular basis, like my observation of the gulls would suggest? And is that the reason they're going to Antarctica? Maybe there's some optical phenomenon that goes on with the sun, perhaps that's going further south. It does this every so often. That you might have some, like I say, some optical phenomenon in the sky that might fool some naive people. Or perhaps the viewer in Antarctica, because of things have changed, and of course the gulls giving their telltale sign, perhaps the sun does appear to circle the viewer in Antarctica. How that would work, I don't know. I would find that fascinating. Again, that would need to be followed, explored. You'd need to circle Antarctica in planes, go over Antarctica in planes. It requires full exploration to fill in the gaps. But I'm not fearful of the results of whatever happens in Antarctica, because the physicality of the Earth proves to us all that the globe is impossible. So it doesn't bother me. If there is that sun circling in Antarctica for 24 hours in December, that is one fascinating observation. I just wanted to share that with you though, reference the seagulls. I've never noticed that before. And could that tie in with potentially a very harsh winter? And potentially as a result of that, and maybe what the sun's doing, it only does so often. Like I said, I've never seen the gulls totally disappear before, and I've worked in the cities of the UK from an elevated position for over 2 decades. And I don't ever recall them all disappearing, bar a handful of gulls. So it'll be interesting to see how the winter pans out, and whether or not that possibly does relate to a so-called 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Just thought I'd share that with you. Have a good one, everyone.
I don't know what seagulls in England and the orientation of the Earth to the sun have to do with one another. It could be getting a cold winter in England, but that would have nothing really to do with the orbital orientation. And the thing is there's hundreds of people already living in Antarctica. There's a number of stations you can see by the map behind here. There's all kinds of stations throughout the area. So they've already seen the 24-hour sun, and people have lived through the 24-hour sun. So it's already been demonstrated many times. My understanding of what the final experiment was is not to prove to everybody on Earth that the Earth is round. It's to make the flat Earth, a couple of flat Earthers go to Antarctica to experience it, and to have witnesses to what's going on there. Because a lot of their arguments is that there's the Antarctic Treaty, which claims that you cannot go to Antarctica, but there are people who go there for scientific research every year, and that the Antarctica is actually an ice wall that surrounds the Earth and keeps the waters in. So if they go to Antarctica and there's no ice wall, and there's a 24-hour sun, and actually Will Duffy, the guy who's footing the bill, is going to try to get a 24-hour image of the moon. That's what this is about. It's trying to get evidence, but it's also trying to get the flat earthers to go down there and realize a lot of the stuff that they've been peddling for the last 10 years is garbage. That's basically it. Okay.
So we're weeks away from this sun observation in Antarctica. We pretty much got 2 scenarios here. Some people think they might try and fake it. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to address the 2 scenarios here on offer. One is that the participants see a circling sun. The second scenario is the sun sets. Now, should the sun set in Antarctica? Great, and very interesting observation. But here's the thing, the globe Earth theory is physically impossible. That can be tested and verified by all. So the observation doesn't really make any difference to the physicality of our Earth. Doesn't. It's an interesting one, don't get me wrong, particularly if it circles the viewer. Because bearing in mind, the globe Earth theory, like I've said, is physically impossible. Large standing bodies of water do not have the ability to display convexity upon its surface. That's a fact. There's no measurement out there showing a large standing body of water displaying convexity upon its surface. Fact.
The oceans are convex because they're attracted to the center of the Earth, and that's perpendicular to the surface. So no matter where they may look flat locally, but over the entire sphere they are curved around the sphere of the Earth. Okay.
And if there is, it would need to be tested and verified by all. Clearly, there isn't. It's the same with tower cranes. They don't have the ability to entertain the speeds a globe Earth theory suggests it's doing. There's no demonstrations, no physical demonstrations out there to back the globe claims regarding tower cranes. In fact, every physical demonstration out there proves the globe Earth theory, strangely enough, is impossible. The behaviour of large standing bodies of water, tower cranes and pendulums, and of course the claim is space is a vacuum and the Earth is an air pressure system rock without any kind of solid separation.
A body at rest will stay at rest, and a body at motion will stay in motion unless an external force acts upon it. That's why cranes don't show any signs of the speeds of the Earth, because you need an acceleration from a force to make them change. Okay, and about the vacuum, the atmosphere gradually kind of becomes less and less the further and further you're up in the atmosphere. So the atmosphere doesn't suddenly just drop off. It's just a gradual decline in pressure, and it's been demonstrated many times. Many people have gone up, and many people have come down and demonstrated the air pressure. Airplanes, you have to pressurize the inside of the airplane for many commercial airlines, because the air pressure gets a little less when you get up there. Therefore it's been demonstrated. Okay, we'll let them go on. Another little situation that's happened in this was the flat earthers started a fight amongst themselves, especially against Jaron, who decided early on to go on the trip. But yeah, that eventually, I think that Witsit had to go along, because these guys are paranoid that the globies or normals are going to do something to them. Jaronism and Level Earth Observer got into a bit of a name calling fight, and here's some quick examples of that, or one example of that.
The sad truth about the final experiment. And it is sad, because I want this observation done, but by credible people. And there lies the problem, as we're about to see. Essentially, I'm going to expose all of this charade here. Bear with me. Now we need to entertain a couple of short clips.
What you're seeing here is a mirage. It's not a mirage. It is the most hated flat earther in all the flat earth community. That is me, and it's not even close. It's not even a question.
It's not. So isn't it strange that the most hated flat earther, in your own words here, but isn't it strange that the most hated flat earther is going to Antarctica to, bizarrely enough, represent the flat earth community? Can you not see a bit of a problem here? We'll come back to this in a minute. Check this out. This is a short snippet, this next clip we look at, from his live stream this morning, okay? Lots of name calling me a retard and a liar. I've spared you that. I'm just going to look at a very short clip which captures everything we need to know about this character, okay? I know some people may feel some discomfort watching this because of the history and the attachments to some good videos in the past. But the words that come out of this own man's mouth are lies, blatantly. And what is going to be shown is demonstrably true. And I'm afraid to say it just highlights this charade and exposes what is going to be happening, I'm afraid. So, sorry if you're going to have knee-jerk reactions to this. I'm standing up for myself because I've got people lying and misrepresenting me and trying to hijack demonstrable reality with concepts and straw men. And it's not acceptable. I'm not having it. So let's have a quick look at this.
It's by a landslide. It's demonstrable reality. Retard. Do you understand? Level Earth Observer. How many videos can you make about me? How gay are you going to get?
I don't fancy men, Jaren, but what I will do is whenever anyone lies and misrepresents me to their viewers, particularly someone like yourself, given the current situation, this final experiment, and the fact the most hated flat earther out there is supposedly going to represent the flat earth in Antarctica, and we're supposed to take all that serious and think that you're a credible character, even though you said it yourself, you're the most hated character out there. Then we add to the fact you're calling me names, lying about me, misrepresenting me. Naturally, I'm going to make videos highlighting your dishonesty. Stop lying about me and misrepresenting me and attempting to hijack demonstrable reality.
Another little situation that's happened in this was the flat earthers started a fight amongst themselves, especially against Jaren, who decided early on to go on the trip. But yeah, that eventually, I think that Witsit had to go along because these guys are paranoid that the globies or normals are going to do something to them. Jeranism and Level Earth Observer got into a bit of a name calling fight, and here's some quick examples of that, or one example of that.